If you love painting watercolor flowers and have ever wondered what brushes actually make the biggest difference, I have some really exciting news to share with you. After months of keeping it a secret, I'm so happy to finally reveal something very special for everyone looking for that perfect botanical watercolor brush set. I've partnered with the legendary brush maker Escoda from Barcelona to design a set especially made for artists who love painting nature. This botanical watercolor brush set includes my favorite brushes, everything from soft synthetic squirrel to firmer synthetic sable, and all the way to my personal favorite, a mixed brush with a small amount of natural sable for extra flexibility, a beautiful point, and excellent pigment load. The set was just released last week, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly what's inside, explain why we chose these specific brush sizes and brush shapes, and most importantly I will demonstrate each bristle type in action as we paint this beautiful rose together. The first brush I want to show you is the Escoda Perla, a pointed round in size 8. This is a very classic shape, but what makes it special is the white Torre fiber. It's one of the softest synthetic fibers you can find on the market, with an almost buttery feel on paper, and it mimics the softness of squirrel hair beautifully. It holds an impressive amount of water and pigment, yet still comes to a wonderfully fine point, so you get both softness and precision in the same brush. Just look at how long these strokes can go without having to reload the brush. It's really remarkable. That generous pigment and water capacity makes this brush feel incredibly fluid and responsive. It glides across the paper so effortlessly, which is exactly what you want when painting petals, leaves, and all those soft organic color transitions in your botanical work. It is probably the most versatile brush in the set in terms of the variety of marks you can make, and you can use it to wet larger areas, lay down smooth washes, create soft gradients, and because the point is so refined, it can also handle a surprising amount of detail. And here is how it performs on my rose petals. This is really your starting brush for those first background layers of color, whether you like to pre-wet the paper with clear water, or like me, if you prefer to begin with a very light hint of pigment and then slowly introduce more color as the shine begins to settle. It is absolutely beautiful for that kind of gradual atmospheric wet into wet technique. Squirrel type brushes in general are beloved in watercolor because they're so soft and gentle, and Perla gives you that same velvety feeling in a budget-friendly synthetic version. It's a perfect choice for larger petals and big leaves, especially in the early stages of the painting when you're building out your first washes, establishing soft shapes, and starting to define form with wet into wet technique. Just look at that lovely fine tip and notice how easily I can release exactly the right amount of pigment into the damp wash. Water control is one of those tricky parts of watercolor, especially for beginners, and a brush like this really helps. It has such a smooth control flow of water that it makes the whole process feel easier and more intuitive. And Perla is not only useful at the beginning of the painting, but also in the final stages, where I love it for glazing, which is what I'm doing here. Glazing simply means applying thin, transparent layers of color to gently shift temperature or deepen the shadows. And at the end of this rose painting, I used a few soft orange glazes inside the flower and then added some shadows along the petal edges and deepened part of the leaves with some dark green. You will love Perla for this because it is so soft and it moves beautifully over dry layers without disrupting them. It allows you to build color in a very delicate, luminous way. It's as close as you can get to the feel of natural squirrel brush in a synthetic fiber, but at a much more accessible price point, and of course with the added durability that synthetic brushes are known for. Now, before I show you the tiniest, most precise brush in the set, I want to introduce the one I use most for floral backgrounds and for lifting technique, which is so essential for realistic petals and leaves. This is called Escoda Prado flat, and the 1/2 inch size is my personal favorite for this kind of brush. The fiber is called Tame, one of Escoda's finest synthetic fibers designed to mimic the spring, absorption, and responsiveness of natural sable. It has a beautiful snap to it, so you feel the feedback as the brush touches your paper. It holds water very well and feels incredibly precise if you use just the edge. A brush like this is wonderful for laying down smooth background washes, but for me, its real strength is in the lifting technique. Lifting simply means removing fresh paint from the surface of the paper, and it is one of the best ways to create soft, natural highlights on watercolor petals and leaves. So look at what I'm doing here. When the wash is still damp and the paint is still moving slightly, I come back with this flat brush and lift out a little bit of color in one sweeping stroke. This reveals a highlight that feels soft and completely natural with a little bit of a soft background gradient. You can use this brush in two ways for lifting. You can use the flat side to lift broader shapes and smooth gradients, or use the sharp edge to remove very, very thin lines of pigment, which is perfect for delicate light veins in petals and leaves. So I use quite a bit of lifting in the first background layer of our rose, and then later in the painting I use the same brush to lift soft veins in the green leaves around the rose. I hope you're enjoying this demo so far. Let me know in comments below which brush shapes and sizes are your favorite for painting flowers. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you the next brush, which is my personal favorite. This is the one that allows me to get even the most refined details into my flower petals, and it's an absolute workhorse when it comes to painting flowers and leaves. If you love precision, crisp edges, and those tiny organic details that make a botanical painting come alive, this is the brush that will help you get there. It's called Escoda Chronos. This is size 2, and it's one of my favorite brush designs that Escoda makes. At first glance, it may look similar to a small round brush, but it's actually quite innovative and relatively new compared to their more classic ranges. So what makes Chronos unique is the fiber blend. It is made with 90% synthetic sable and 10% real sable. Now you may wonder why combine the two, and the reason is very practical. Natural hair will always hold more water than synthetic fiber. And when you get down to very small brush sizes, purely synthetic brushes can sometimes start to feel a little stiff and dry. They may give you a sharp point, but not always enough moisture to keep your strokes fluid or blend them beautifully on paper. Chronos solves that problem in such a clever way. So that small amount of real sable increases the brush capacity to hold water and pigments. So what you get is a brush with an incredibly fine, precise tip, but also enough moisture to keep your strokes smooth, controlled, and beautifully responsive. In other words, it gives you detail without that scratchy, underloaded feeling that small brushes so often have. And that really changes the whole painting experience. So with this brush, I can move from the tiniest lines to a slightly broader stroke just by adjusting hand pressure, which is exactly what you want for petals, veins, ruffled edges, and all those little shifts in shape that make the coloring in flower petals look more natural instead of stiff. This is the brush I use the most in the later stages of the painting. So once the first layers are in place, those I put down mostly using the larger brush, like that size 8 Perla. And then I spend most of my time refining form, deepening shadows, and sharpening the edges using this smaller Chronos. And I'm building those subtle color transitions that give petals their dimension. This is where you will really appreciate the combination of fine point and extra water capacity, because it will allow you to work slowly and precisely without constantly fighting the brush or reloading the brush every few seconds. In this rose painting, I used Chronos for almost an hour straight, just building texture across the petals, adding tiny strokes, soft shadows, refining the edges, and blending small areas of color. And what I especially love is that it still performs beautifully, even on slightly textured, cold pressed paper, where some smaller detailed brushes can start to skip or feel a little bit too dry. The final brush in the set is Prado Rigor in size 4, and this is all about stems, petal veins, and those beautiful, delicate finishing lines that give botanical paintings their elegance. Rigger brushes are very unique. They have a very long, slender body with a fine tip, which makes them quite different from traditional round brushes. Because the bristles are longer, the brush can hold enough paint to create a long, continuous stroke, but the real beauty of this shape is in the way it moves. So if you want very smooth, graceful, curving lines, that extra length really helps reduce the shakiness in your hand. Instead of making lots of short, hesitant marks, you can pull one long flowing stroke with much more confidence and control. And that is exactly what gives stems, grasses, branches, and trailing lines a much more natural look. Now, of course, this is not the brush you would use to cover large areas of your paper. It is very thin after all, but when it comes to long leaf stems or natural tree branches, this shape is my favorite. It is also incredibly useful for painting delicate petal veins using wet on damp technique, where you want the line to stay soft, elegant, and slightly diffused rather than harsh. In fact, you may have already seen me use this type of brush in one of my most popular botanical tutorials featuring blue orchids. I will leave a link to that tutorial below. And in this rose painting, I used my Escoda rigger to add a few branches and stems in the background, something very subtle and organic in soft greens and browns. I find that a brush like this immediately helps those background elements feel more natural and less forced. The lines have that lovely, effortless rhythm that is much harder to achieve with a shorter brush. And although I especially love this brush for botanical work, this ability to create fluid lines can be useful in many other subjects too. For example, if you're painting landscapes, it's wonderful for tall grass. If you paint portraits, think of long natural hair strands or other delicate linear details. It really is a perfect finishing touch brush, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing this set up close. I hope it gave you a better sense of why we chose these particular shapes and fibers for botanical artists specifically. I've also included links in the description to the online stores where the set is already available, and it should be soon appearing in Escoda's Amazon store worldwide, along with all your favorite local art suppliers. I will also be repainting this rose for a full tutorial for my Patreon subscribers, so keep an eye out for that as well. As always, thank you so much for watching and painting with me. I will see you soon.